How's it, YouTube? Hello. So I am now 43, turning 44 not too long from now. And if I could go back in time and give advice to my younger self, this is what it would be. So if you are a young woman in your 20s, listen up, because I used to wish sometimes for these kind of videos back then, and there weren't any. I had to read books, which is all cool and well, but sometimes it's nice to hear what somebody a little bit older and more experienced has to say. Number one would be, and I know it's hard to do when you're young, but just relax. When I was in my 20s, my early 20s especially, I just wanted to know how were things going to work out? How was I going to figure life out? I was a very shy, insecure, lacking in self-confidence young woman, and I was afraid. I was afraid of the world. I was afraid of everything. So if you are in that sort of position now where you're young, you are going out into the world, trying to figure out your place in the world, please, number one, just relax and know that it will be okay. You actually will find your way. And I'm not going to give you the formulas or the steps to success, because there are a million self-help books out there and you can read them all. I've read so many of them, but none of them individually have the answer. So the second piece of advice is that no one has the answer to life. Believe me, I've read all the philosophy and psychology books and self-help books out there. In fact, I've just completed a psychology course on Udemy, which I will do another video on. And there is no one answer to life, which when I was young, I was really looking for it. I was a seeker and a searcher. And the advice I would give to my younger self is, good, do that, be that seeker, be the searcher, because you do gain knowledge by reading, by inquiring, by asking questions. And in your 20s, you are in that phase of growth and development and figuring yourself out. And that's normal and natural. So it's normal and natural to not have all the answers, and that is okay. That is where you are in life. And so the advice would be to accept the stage of life that you're at. I wasn't confident because I hadn't had time to mature and grow. And you may feel that way, and that's okay. I think confidence in your 20s is different to confidence in your 40s. As you get older, it kind of happens naturally because you've done so much, you've been through so much, you've accomplished more, and it's a natural thing. You get the confidence that comes from knowing that I've been there, I've done that, I've accomplished things. When you're in your 20s, you don't have that, you don't know. So in that case, the confidence in your 20s is a sense of saying, I am young, but I'm learning, and be okay being a learner, be okay asking people questions. And in your 20s, I think for me, I would want to tell my younger self, it is okay to not know. Back then, I used to think that, like, if I was hired for a job and I was new, I needed to just know everything immediately. And I was too scared to ask what somebody meant or how to do something. I just went in there nervous, thinking, I need to know. And what if they sort of find out that I don't know? But the fact is, no one knows everything. And even if you're starting a new job, yes, you've got the job. So you may think that they think you're going to just perform, but they're not going to think that. Now in my 40s, I know that when a boss hires you, they expect you to have a learning curve in the beginning. So ask questions. Don't be afraid in any situation. And if something is not clear, or somebody explains something and it's still not clear, the onus is on you to ask. So in your 20s, just speak up and ask. That is the one thing. I was very shy, and I was very worried about what older people would think of me, bosses or mentors or lecturers or anyone in a perceived position of authority. And now, looking back, I shouldn't have felt so shy. Speaking up is a good thing. And asking for clarity actually shows more intelligence than just being quiet and being scared. So the biggest piece of advice would be to speak up and ask, speak and ask. And to know that in your 20s, this is the period of growth and learning and exploring. So do all the things, especially if you don't have children yet. Do the things you want to do, because every experience adds something to you. It adds a new layer of dimension and depth to your personality, even the tough times. So what we can gain in our 40s is all that life experience. So in your 20s, open yourself up to that. Just do things. If you've got the opportunity to travel, my God, travel. That is a huge piece of advice I would give. My younger self, luckily, I did travel when I had the chance, and it was a blessing. So I know travel is expensive and it's not something everyone can do, but you don't have to go overseas. You can also travel locally in your town, in your country. There's a lot of small trips you can take, but just doing stuff like that broadens your mind and your horizons. And also keep working on yourself. A huge piece of advice I would say to anyone in their 20s is spend time alone, spend time with yourself, meditate. I know we've all heard this before, but it's just my experience and I'm sharing it with you. So these things did work for me, meditation and journaling. I don't do them often all the time. Journaling I did a lot more when I was younger, but it helped me, and I'm assuming it's going to help anyone watching. It helped me get to know the workings of my mind. And that is very important, to learn who you are. And how do you learn who you are? You learn who you are by spending time with yourself, reflecting, thinking, asking yourself difficult questions as well, writing them down in a journal and answering them. It's actually harder than you would think sometimes. So not just stream of consciousness journaling where you're just spewing the thoughts that come to you, but maybe even like direct your journaling by answering difficult questions about yourself, about your past, about any grievances that you're holding on to. You know, in my 20s, I was still exploring a lot, but there were things that I'll just share. My relationship with my father was not the easiest. There was love, but there was also tension there. And I read some of my older journals, and a lot of it was just me venting about the difficulties that I felt in my relationship with my dad. But maybe, oh, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, bless me. Maybe I should have also journaled where I asked myself questions. What am I learning from this relationship? How am I growing? How is it challenging me? How is it serving me, if at all? You know, these kind of things are more useful than just venting. Venting has its place. But anyway, journaling and meditation, getting quiet, quietening your mind. A huge piece of advice I would give to myself is experiment and try things, but don't fall into drugs and alcohol. Not that I did, thank God, but I did experiment with a few things. Luckily, I never became addicted to anything, so I'm grateful and blessed. So a big piece of advice to any youngster, anyone, women, men, all of it, is anything that alters your mind like that it provides that temporary rush and relief, but I can guarantee you, and I speak from experience, nothing is better than the natural high you get from doing your life and doing your life well. So being fit, being healthy, waking up early, achieving your whatever it is, whether you're studying, completing your assignments, acing your exams, if you're working, performing well, achieving your tasks, managing your finances, if you're moving out of home, dealing with life and tackling it head on and checking those things off, even if they seem scary. That is far more empowering, and it gives you a true rush. Getting high on life is so much better than any drug-induced high. So sometimes we do, when we're young, we fall into these social circles, we give into peer pressure. Luckily, I didn't fall down any negative path, but it's tempting, it's out there, people offer it to you. You're going partying, you're socializing, and socializing and having friends is good. It really, really is. It opens you up, you explore, but to stand firm in yourself and to know when to say no, and to be okay by saying, hey, you guys do that, it's not for me, I'll come along, or I'm going to leave early. Or I think that if I could just give I don't know what it takes for a young person to say no to their friends, to their peer pressure, to their circle, but if you can do that, you are amazing, and just know that you should do that. So in this video, you can see I'm trying to give back to the younger woman, the woman that I was, who was so shy and insecure. And if you are like I was, just know that every day is a chance to get a little bit better, get to know yourself, and you will get there. You will get there. A huge piece of advice I would also give to my younger self is to, as soon as possible, accept and make peace with my body. Don't spend as much time as I did hating it, wishing it were different, wishing it were thinner. You can't change how you were born, or who you were born as. You can't change your genetics, your DNA, but you can improve upon it. So you can do things with fitness and diet if you want to. But the best thing you can do is accept and love who you are, as you are, what you are. And then you move from there. So even if you want to change something, you want to go to the gym and work on your body and improve it, just know that if you are a small, petite, slim woman, you may never be bulky and muscular, but you can be the best version of that small, petite woman that you want to be. If you have curves, I mean, nowadays, what a time to be alive for curvy women. Yay, 20 years ago, it wasn't the case. I just wanted to be rail thin, which is quite sad, actually. I mean, and there's nothing against rail thin women. If that is you, naturally, own it, embrace it. So I think what's great about nowadays is that there are many body types for women to aspire to. Hallelujah. Because we women, we are objectified, sexualized, critiqued on our bodies way more than men. I think it's changing. Men are feeling the pressure too nowadays, but it definitely is. It's a female thing. And as a woman, I think you have to come to terms with your physical form, because it is so central to you being a woman. Your breast, your butt, your shape. It is what it is. The last piece of advice I would give to my younger self is, yes, there is a biological clock and it is ticking, but to try to not allow the pressure of that to get to me, because you've got time. You may not have all the time in the world, but nowadays the window of opportunity for settling down and having kids is longer. So take that. It's not like it used to be where you have to have kids young. Medicine has advanced. However, if you're lucky enough to have kids young, what a blessing. It's great. You're young, you've got the energy, you can be with them when you're young and they're young. Because it is harder being an older parent, and I'm not really an older parent. I'm somewhere in the middle. I had my child when I was 30. So yeah, but I think I could have waited, but I could have done it earlier. It's neither here nor there. Really, you've got to do something when it's right. So don't rush the process. Don't fall into wrong relationships. Don't trick anyone ever by falling pregnant. That's a no-no. But just know that you will find your way. You will find your way. I think if I could give every young person something, if I could just hand it over to you through this screen, and I don't have a daughter, so I'm handing this to all the young women out there, and to men and to boys. Just know it's going to be okay. It will be okay. And you can help make it okay by developing yourself. Because the more you develop yourself through courses, through education, through life experience, through absorbing the experience, assimilating it, journaling, meditating, walking out in nature, whatever gives you that space to know yourself. By working on yourself, it gives you the best chance, because then you trust yourself in any situation. You know that you have the skills to deal with all situations, because we cannot control life. If there's anything I have learned at this age, at 43, it's that life will happen. The outside world is uncontrollable, but you can control your reactions. You can control how you respond to things. That really is the only thing you have control over, is your thinking about things and your response to things, because life will happen. Death, illness, economies crashing. You could be retrenched from a job. The company you work for could close. You can lose money, you can gain money, relationships come and go. All kinds of things happen outside of our control. In South Africa, there is violent crime happening every day. Luckily, not in my experience, but I've been lucky not to experience it, but these things happen. There's even natural disasters, earthquakes, tornadoes, people lose their houses. So the only way to get, I think, true, not even confidence, but resiliency, is to just deeply know yourself, know your skills, know your mind, know how your personality came into being. And by knowing yourself, you can work on the areas you want to, and you can strengthen those weaknesses, and you can trust that no matter what happens, you will respond in the best way possible for you. I think that is the greatest gift anyone could give to themselves. So strengthen that relationship with yourself, especially before you have kids, so that you can, if you choose to have children, be a better parent. A lot of this advice I did take, some of it I didn't when I was younger. I was just very worried, and if I could do anything, if I could go back in time and do anything different, it would be to not worry. Don't worry as much. Don't be so serious and worry about how life's going to turn out. It will be okay, especially if you create your best self. You get to know yourself and be, when people say the best version of you, it's bandied about and it's almost become a buzzword or a buzz phrase, but I think there is merit to it, and I think it's because there is value in being your best self, because the more you develop your inner self, your skills, who you are, the better you can respond and react to life. So there is value to that. And I think nothing is wasted. Every book you read, even if it seems like you didn't use it, it's in there. It's in there. And ideas get reinforced as you hear them over and over, which is why I mustn't doubt myself in putting content like this out there, even if just one of you watches it and gains something. That was worth it then. See, even at 43, I have some doubts. So no one has all the answers. No one has the magic key or the solution. I wish there was. But some cliches are there for a reason. And one of the good ones is to work on being the best version of you. But you've got to work on being the best version of you and not trying to be someone else. And we hear that a lot too, just be yourself. But I think what that means is accepting your body, your ethnicity, where you are in time and space. You are living in this world in 2022. So try not to wish for days gone by or a different world. Obviously, whoever you are, you have to accept. Maybe you have a disability. Maybe you have some kind of limitation that's different to everyone else. You have to accept it, because you can only work with who you are. Like me, I'm a little blonde white chick. That's who I am. I can never be physically something completely different. I can't go and be a Ronnie Coleman bodybuilding champion, you know what I mean? So I have to accept and be who I am. And I now know that I am a questioner, a seeker, a speaker, a connector, a sharer. This little white South African 43-year-old chickie, that's me. and I have to accept it and embrace it, and I do. So I wish all that for you. Go back and listen to this video again, and please don't be selfish. Share this video with a young woman who you think could benefit from these words. And I just want you to know, you are not alone. You are not alone. We are all human beings going through the human experience. You really are not alone. Sometimes we can feel isolated nowadays, where everything is through screens, and I hate that. I want to reach out and really connect with you. And yeah, so the screen doesn't do justice, but it's the best I have for now, because I work from home. So why not use the time to connect with you in this way, put a little bit of myself out there, and hope that it touches you. Touch you. Thank you for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye. Bye. Much love to all of you. Bye.